The Lord's Supper. Jesus and his disciples had just finished the Passover meal when Jesus stood up from the table and began washing the feet of the disciples. The disciples didn't understand what Jesus was doing because washing feet was usually a job completed by the servants in the house, not someone who they referred to as master. Jesus explained to the disciples that allowing him to wash their feet was another way he was able to connect with them. The disciples wanted to be as close to Jesus as possible, all but one. When Jesus had finished washing the disciples' feet, he stood up, put his outer clothing back on, and then returned to his spot around the table. Jesus then announced that one of the disciples would soon betray him. Jesus knew that one of the disciples would do something that would cause him a lot of pain and sadness. The disciples were shocked. They couldn't believe anyone in this group would do such a thing, and they started to question Jesus. Is it me? Will I be the one? Peter leaned over to John, who was sitting by Jesus, and told John to ask Jesus who it was. John leaned over near Jesus' chest and asked him who of them would do such a horrible thing. Jesus answered John, telling him it would be the one that he gave bread to. Jesus then stood up, took a piece of bread, dipped it in the sauce, and walked over to Judas. Jesus knew it was Judas who would help the high priest and elders arrest him. He handed Judas the bread and said, "That thou doest, do quickly." Then Judas stood up from the table and left the upper room. The disciples didn't know why Judas left. He was the disciple who took care of the money. They thought he might have left to go buy items for the meal that they were eating, or to even go help the poor. No one else knew that it would be Judas to betray Jesus. They were still talking and questioning who it might be. Then they started to wonder who was the greatest of them all. Jesus sat back down and explained to the disciples that greatest, the way the world thinks, and greatest, the way that God thinks, are two different things. In the world, people think someone is great because of how much power, money, or fame they have. In heaven, greatness has nothing to do with those things. Instead, it would be how you would describe someone who serves others. Those who treat others with love and kindness and help others would be the person who is called great. He told them, just as he had washed their feet, they were to go and wash others' feet. He didn't let the fact that they called him master keep him from serving them, even to do the dirty jobs. Being willing to show kindness and serve others is one way we can share God's love with them. Then Jesus took the bread from the table and gave thanks for it. Then he broke it into pieces and shared it with the disciples. But before they ate the bread, he said something very important to them. "This bread is like my body. Take it, eat, and when you do, remember that I am about to give my body because of my love for you." Jesus knew he would soon be killed. It was part of God's plan for him to die and pay for the sins of all people who would believe in him. The disciples didn't completely understand what Jesus was saying, but they loved him and they believed he was the Son of God, so they listened and did exactly what he told them to do. Then Jesus took the drink and blessed it. Then he shared the drink with the disciples, just as he had shared the bread. He told the disciples the drink was like the blood that he was about to shed in death. His blood would pay for all the sins of all those who believed in him. They would no longer have to make animal sacrifices for their sin. Jesus was going to be the sacrifice for all people. Jesus told them to think about his sacrifice and his blood every time they drank it. Then Jesus and the disciples sang a song and left the upper room, and they followed Jesus to the Garden of Gethsemane. On their way to the garden, Jesus explained several things to the disciples. He told them that all of them would soon leave him. This upset the disciples. They didn't want to leave him. He told them the Bible said that when the shepherd was attacked, the sheep would scatter. He was the shepherd. They were the sheep. This is just another thing that happened for God's perfect plan. Peter was outraged. He said, "They may leave you, but I never will." Jesus turned to Peter and said, "You will deny that you know me 3 times before the rooster crows tomorrow." Peter did not want to believe this was true. He said, "I will die with you. I will not deny you." Then Jesus started to explain to the disciples the things they needed to do differently after he was no longer with them. While Jesus was with them, they didn't need money or weapons, but once he was gone from them, they should always have those things. Jesus gave the disciples 2 swords because they needed to be prepared to protect themselves. They would be with people who hated them just because they were his followers. Jesus and his disciples continued to the garden, and he spoke of many things while they walked. Okay, guys, it's time for our first letter of the day. Today's letter is the letter B. B makes the sound B, as in bread and body and blood. We had lots of B words in our story today. This is our capital B, and this is our lowercase b. They look a little bit alike, but the little b doesn't have the top bump on it. So we're going to practice making our B's. Okay, we're going to come down here to our fence picture. We're going to start in the sky and go all the way down to the ground. Then we're going to go back to the sky and we're going to make a bump that starts at the sky and ends at the fence. And then we're going to make another bump that starts at the fence and ends at the ground. And that is how you make the capital letter B. Okay, now we're going to make our lowercase b. We're going to start in the sky and go all the way down to the ground. And then we're going to make a circle under the fence. There we go. That's our lowercase letter B. Okay, now we're going to come over here where we don't have a fence. We're going to just have to imagine the fence. Okay, we're going to practice our capital B's. We're going to start in the sky and go down to the ground. Then we're going to go back up to the sky and we're going to do a bump to the fence and then a bump to the ground. Let's do another one. Start in the sky and go down to the ground. Go back to the sky and do a bump to the fence and a bump to the ground. Good job. Okay, now we're going to make our lowercase b's. We're going to start in the sky and we're going to go to the ground. And then we're going to do a circle under the fence. There we go. Let's do another one from the sky to the ground. And then we're going to do a circle under the fence. There we go. Our extra practice word of the day today is going to be bread. Jesus broke the bread and shared it with his disciples. Okay, it's going to start with a lowercase b. We're going to start in the sky and go down to the ground. And then we're going to make a circle under the fence. The next letter is going to be the little letter R. We're going to start at the fence and go down to the ground. We're going to go almost back to the fence, almost all the way. And we're going to do a little hump. But it's just going to be little, just a short hump. Okay, next we're going to do the letter E. The lowercase e is a little tricky. We have to imagine our flowers because there's nothing in between the fence and the ground, so we have to imagine. And we're going to do a line over. Then we're going to curve back up to the fence, down to the ground, and up just a little bit. The next letter is the letter A, the lowercase letter A. And to do that, we're going to make a circle under the fence and then a stick from the fence to the ground. The last letter in the word bread is the letter D. And to do that, it's a lot like the letter A. We're going to do a circle under the fence, but instead of a little stick, we're going to do all the way from the sky to the ground. And that's how you make a D, and that's how you spell bread. Good job, guys. Okay, guys, it's time for activity number 1. Let me read the directions. Bread, break, body, blood, and betray were all important words in this lesson. All these words start with the letter B. Look at the pictures below and circle the pictures of the things that also start with the letter B. Okay, we're going to look at all these pictures down here, and we have to decide if it starts with the letter B. B makes the sound B, B, B. So we're going to look at the pictures and we're going to see if it starts with the sound B. Here we go. Our first picture is a car. Does car start with the letter B? Car. It does not start with a B. It does not start with the B, B sound. Okay, let's go on over. We've got a butterfly. Does butterfly start with the letter B? B, B, B. Butterfly. Yes, butterfly does start with the letter B. We definitely had a b sound in the front of that word. Okay, let's go on down here to the boat. Does boat start with the letter B? Let's see. Boat. Yes, it does. It starts with the b sound. It starts with that B sound. Now we have an elephant. Does elephant start with B? Let's see. Elephant? No way. Elephant does not start with the b sound. Okay, let's see. We have a fish. Let's check that one out. Fish. Nope, that's not it. Fish does not start with the letter B. Come down here. We're going to look at this one. We have corn. Corn? No, corn does not start with the B sound. Now we have a bed. Bed. Bed does start with the letter B. We will circle that one. Okay, we have a book. Book. Does that one start with the B? Did that one start with the b sound? It sure did. Let's circle that one. And our last picture is a bird. Does bird start with the B? Bird. Yes, it does. We circled all of the pictures that start with the letter B. Good job. Okay, our second letter of the day is the letter S. The S makes the sound S, just like a snake. And it kind of looks like a snake the way it twists and turns around. This is our capital letter S, and this is our lowercase letter s. They are very much the same, except the lowercase one is just smaller. S is probably the trickiest letter to make, so we're going to take this one a little bit slow. When we make our S's, we're going to have to think about our clouds and our flowers. We can't just think about the lines and the dotted lines and stuff. We have to think about everything to make a letter S. Okay, to do this, we're going to start in the clouds, and we're going to curve up to the sky. And then we're going to curve back down at a slant. And we're going to go across the fence, down to the ground, but then we're going to curve the other way and touch the ground and come up to the flowers. And that is how you make a S, a capital S. It's a little bit tricky. It's going to take some practice to get used to the S's because they twist and turn in different ways. Okay, now we're going to practice our lowercase s. And we're going to come just under the fence, maybe just a little bit above the flowers. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to twist up to the fence picture and then all the way down. And then we're going to twist the other way, touch the ground, and come up just a little bit to our flowers. And that is how you make a lowercase s. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move over here, and we're going to make our capital S's. Remember, we're going to have to imagine. We're going to have to imagine where our clouds are. About right here, and we're going to curve up to the sky, cross over on the fence, and then turn the other way, touch the ground, and come up to the flowers. Capital S. Okay, let's do another one. We're going to start in the sky, or in the clouds, and we're going to go up to the sky. I said the wrong words. We're going to touch the sky and then come down, cross the fence, turn the other way, touch the ground, and then come up to the flowers. Okay, let's do one more. I got all kinds of confused when I said the wrong word. Let's make one more capital S. We'll start in the clouds, and we'll go up to the sky, cross over on the fence, turn the other way, touch the ground, and come up to the flowers. There we go. That one looks better. This one was hard for me to do, but while I was talking, I got all kinds of confused. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do our lowercase letter S. We're going to start just under the fence, go up, touch the fence, slant, then turn the other way, touch the ground, and come up just a little bit. Let's do another one. Just under the fence, go up, touch the fence, come down in a slant ways, turn the other way, touch the ground, and come up just a little. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do one more since we did 3 on the top line. We'll do 3 over here. Let's start under the fence, go up, touch the fence, slant down, turn the other way, touch the ground, and come up just a little bit. There are our 3 S's. Okay, our extra practice word of the day for the letter S is going to be the word serve. Jesus told the disciples that they should serve one another. That's a way that we can let people know that we love them and we can show God's love. So we're going to write the word serve down here. Serve is going to start with the lowercase letter S. So we're going to start just under the fence, curve up, touch the fence, slant down, turn the other way, touch the ground, and come up just a little bit. Okay, now we're going to make a lowercase letter E. This one's going to start in the flowers. We're going to do a line across, curve up to the fence, down to the ground, and up just a little bit. Next, we have the lowercase letter R. We're going to start at the fence, down to the ground. We're going to come almost back to the fence, and we're going to do just a little hump, just a little bit. The next letter is the little letter V, the lowercase v. We're going to start at the fence, and we're going to do a slant line. And then we're going to slant back up to the fence. And that is how you make a lowercase v. The last letter in the word serve is another E. We're going to do another one of these. So we're going to start in the flowers, and we're going to go across, curve up to the fence, touch the fence, and then come down, touch the ground, and come up just a little bit. Here we go. That is how you spell the word serve. Good job, guys. Now it's time for our math activity. Let me read the directions. Jesus broke the bread and shared it with all the disciples. Look at the pictures below. How would you divide the food to share it with each group of people? Draw a line on the food to show each part. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to count the people on this side, and then we're going to split up the food on this side. Okay, so on the first row, we have one piece of bread, and we have 2 people. Okay, what are we going to do to this bread so we have enough to share it with 2 people? We're going to cut it right down the middle. We're going to make a line right here. And then we have one side for person number 1 and one side for person number 2. Okay, let's go to the next row. We're going to slice this loaf of bread for 1, 2, 3 people. We can't do right in the middle because that would only give us 2 parts. We're going to have to make an extra part. So we're going to do one line that's kind of close to the front. And then we'll do another line that's kind of close to the back. How many parts did that give us? 1, 2, 3 parts for 1, 2, 3 people. Okay, our next group, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 people. And we have a pizza. We're going to split this pizza for 4 people. This one's a little bit different. I'm going to show you a trick on this one. First of all, we're going to split it in half, just like we did the bread right here. From top to bottom. Then we need to split it again. Let's see, we're going to split it from side to side. And that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces for 1, 2, 3, 4 people. Good job. Okay, now we're going to look at our memory verse. This is the verse from the real Bible. It says, take, eat. This is my body. Mark 14:22. Who said that? Jesus said that in our story. And that's what the real Bible says. Okay, we're going to look for the letter B and the letter S. This is a short verse, so we're having to look for 2 letters in this one. Okay, we're going to start looking for the letter B. Take, eat. This is my body. Oh, we have a letter B in this word. Which one is it? Is it this one or is it this one? That's kind of a tricky question. Let's take a look over here at our magnifying glass. The letter B is a stick and then the circle. So we're going to look, stick and then the circle. So we're going to circle this one. This is our letter B. Take, eat. This is my body. Mark 14:22. So we only had one B. Now we're going to start to look for an S. Take, eat, this. There's an S in this word. Do you see it? Is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this one? It's this one. It's the one that kind of looks like a snake all curled around. Okay, let's see. Take, eat, this is. I see another S. Do you see another S? Right here. Circle that one. Take, eat, this is my body. Mark 14:22. We found a B and 2 S's. Good job, guys. Our last letter of the day is the letter J. There are lots of J words in our Easter stories. Today's J word is going to be Judas. We talked about Judas today and how he betrayed Jesus. And Judas starts with the letter J. J makes the sound J, Judas, Jesus, Jerusalem. There are lots of J words. Okay, we're going to practice this one. We're going to start at the sky and we're going to go all the way down to the ground, or almost all the way. We're going to get really close and then we're going to turn, touch the ground, and come up to the flowers. We have to have a little hook on this one, so we'll have to start that one just below the flowers. Okay, the next one, we're going to do the lowercase letter J. We're going to start at the fence and go down to the ground, keep going into the roots, and then turn, come up just a little bit, and then we're going to do the dot. Bloop. There we go. That's it. That's all you have to do for the little letter J. Okay, next we're going to come over here where we don't have our picture. We're going to imagine our picture and we're going to make some more J's. Start in the sky, down to the ground, get almost to the ground and then turn back up. Let's do another one. Start in the sky, go down to the ground, and you get almost there, turn, touch the ground, and then come back up. There you go. Let's practice some lowercase J's. We're going to start at the fence, go down to the ground, go under the ground, curve, and then bloop, we have a dot. Let's do one more. Start at the fence, go down to the ground, under the ground, turn, and then bloop, our dot. Okay, our extra practice word today is going to be Judas. Judas is a name, so it starts with a capital letter. To make our capital J, remember we're going to start in the sky and go down to the ground, almost to the ground, and then we're going to turn and come up just a little to the flowers. The next letter in the word Judas is going to be the letter U. It's going to be our lowercase letter U. We're going to start at the fence and we're going to go to the ground just like a J, but we're going to turn the other way and then go all the way back up to the fence and then straight down. That's a lowercase U. The next letter in the word Judas is going to be the lowercase letter D. To make a lowercase d, we're going to make a circle under the fence. And then we make a stick from the sky to the ground. The next letter is the letter A. It's a lot like the D, it's just shorter. We're going to start with a circle under the fence again. Circle, touch the ground, and then our stick is going to start at the fence and go to the ground. There we go. And the last letter is the letter S. So we're going to come up here just under the fence and we're going to curve up, touch the fence, slant down, go the other way, touch the ground, and come up just a little. And that is how you spell Judas. Okay, now it's time for our big word of the day. Today's word is betray. Betray is to do something that hurts someone you are close to. In today's story, Judas betrayed Jesus. Now it's time for our Guess Who game. Our first clue, I ate the Passover meal with Jesus. Jesus shared the bread and the drink with me. I walked with Jesus to the garden. I didn't like that he said we would leave him. He said I would deny him 3 times before the rooster crowed. Who am I? Who said that? Who did those things? It was Peter. If you answered Peter, then you were being a great listener. Now it's time for drawing. Jesus broke the bread and shared it with his disciples. Then he shared the drink. Today we're going to draw a cup. Okay, let's try to draw a cup. What kind of cup are we going to draw? Let's see. We can draw like a glass kind of cup. We'll make an oval, and then we'll come down, and then we'll make a swerve line on the bottom there. Does that look like a cup to you? Let's see if we can draw another kind of cup. We're going to start with the top. We're going to do another oval. And then we're going to make it like a tall cup. We're going to come down like this and like this. And then we're going to make it be a tall cup. Oh, there we go. And the last thing, we have to make the bottom. You have to put kind of a big bottom on them, or those kind of cups will tip right over. There we go. That's a kind of cup like that was in the drawing in our story today. Okay, now what's a different kind of cup we can make? We could make a coffee cup. Let's see, like a mug, a coffee mug. We'll make our oval again for the top, and we'll come straight down. And we'll come straight down on this side, and at the bottom, and then we need to make the handle, so we'll make it do like that. Does that look like a coffee cup to you? We've made 1, 2, 3 cups. Good job, guys. Okay, guys, it's almost time to go, but before we do, let's talk about what we've learned today. We learned the story of the Lord's Supper. That's when Jesus took and broke the bread and shared the drink. And he told the disciples to remember him, to remember how he was going to give his body and his blood to pay for the sins of all people. The disciples didn't exactly understand what Jesus was talking about, but they would soon find out. And we're going to talk more about that in other lessons. What else did we learn today? Well, we talked about the letter B, the letter S, and the letter J. We talked about sharing. We also talked about the letter B sound and but, and we circled our things that started with B. We drew some cups, and we talked about Peter and how Peter didn't think that he would deny Jesus. We'll learn more about all of that stuff coming up in other stories. Until next time, Jolly loves you.